Happy Mother's Day. Today is the day we thank our Father in heaven for our mothers on earth. Last week, a woman in Morocco gave birth to nontuplets, 9 babies, 5 girls and 4 boys. And God willing, if they all survive, she will break the world's record and be in the Guinness World Record, because the most children to survive from a birth was a woman in California in 2009 who had 8 children who survived. This will be a record. However, every one of us is here on earth thanks to God and our mothers who carried us for 9 months and gave birth to us, the greatest miracle that any human being can perform. And so today we think about the 5th commandment, honor your father and mother, and we honor the mothers in our lives. Yesterday's Torah portion of B'chukotai began with the words, Im b'chukotai telechu, if you will follow my commandments and perform my laws, then I will send you all the blessings, God says. And the question is, why does the Torah portion begin with the word im, if? After all, commandments is not a choice, it's a commandment. It should have said, when you follow my commandments, you will receive blessings. And one of the beautiful answers given by the Mea Shaloach, the Ishabitzer Rabbi, is that the word im, if, sometimes is used in a sense that people are looking back on their lives and saying, if only I would have done this, if only I would have said that, if only I would have gone there. And they live with a lot of regrets, looking back and saying, if only, if only. But this week's Torah portion used it in the sense of future tense. Im b'chukotai lechu, if you will follow and hearken to my commandments and my decrees, then you will bring abundant blessings upon yourself. And what the Torah is telling us is, the word if should only be employed, the word im, if, in future tense. Regardless of what happened in the past, it's in our power to shape our destiny and our future. It is in our hands. And indeed, the Mea Shaloach goes on to point out that if you look at the redemption of the story of Passover, the redemption of the story of Purim, and the redemption of the ultimate redemption through Mashiach, you find that Passover occurred through Aaron and Moses. Aaron and Moses is Aleph and Mem, the word Im. Purim occurred through Esther and Mordechai. Once again, Aleph for Esther, Mem for Mordechai. And Mashiach will be heralded through Eliyahu and Navi, Elijah the prophet. Eliyahu and Mashiach once again is Im. And what the Torah is teaching us is that all redemptions, past and future, are dependent on Im, the ifs that we choose going forward in our lives. And it's fascinating to note that the word life, L-I-F-E, the center letters is if. A secular perspective of life is, if I would have done this, if only I would have done that. But the center letters of the word Chaim, which means life in Hebrew, is Yud and Yud, which is God's name. Whatever happened to us in life was by divine providence. Where we are was where we're meant to be. But now it's up to us if we're going to choose the right course going forward. And it's fascinating to note that in Hebrew, the word for mother is aim. Aim is a mother, and indeed, it's the same 2 letters as im, Aleph and Mem. Because as a mother creates new life, everyone has the power, no matter where we are in our lives, to choose life going forward and to create new life for ourselves and for others. Everyone is still mourning the tragic events that happened at Mount Meron last Thursday night. And one of the 45 victims who died was a young yeshiva boy who was studying in a yeshiva in Yerushalayim. His name was Dovi Steinmetz. And at the shiva, there was a video of his friends, hundreds of friends who came to visit, to pay a shiva call to his parents and remember their beloved friend. And all of the friends are in the room singing with the family. Ani Mamin, Ani Mamin. They sing the song, I Believe, with complete faith. And I found this video so powerful, especially in light of the story I heard about Dovi Steinmetz. He had come home for Pesach to be with his family, and he was going to go back to yeshiva to finish the year. But his sister's getting married in a few weeks. So his father said to him, why do you need to go back to Israel and come back in 2 months for your sister's wedding? Why don't you just stay here and learn in a yeshiva here in New York, and you don't have to go back and forth for your sister's wedding? And Dovi said, no, I really want to go back to yeshiva for the end of the year. And his father said, why? Why can't you study here? And he said to his father, because I want to go to Meron for Lag BaOmer. And only when his father heard that did he say, okay, I'll buy you a ticket, and sent him back to Israel and took him to the airport and put him on a plane to go back to finish the year. Unfortunately, tragically, Dovi never came home from Israel. And instead of his father looking back and saying, if only I would have insisted that he stay here, if only I would not have bought him that ticket, if only I would not have let him go back to Israel, he's singing with tears rolling down his face, together with all of his friends, the song, Ani Mamin, I Believe. Life teaches us, and our mothers teach us, that we have to choose life going forward, and we do that by following in God's ways and God's righteous ways of commandments of the Torah. We can't live our life with regrets looking back. We could only look forward and make choices that will bring happiness and blessings to each and every one of us. Happy Mother's Day.